day I caught my own sister in my husband's bed, my heart didn't just break. It shattered into pieces I didn't think I would ever be able to pick up again. But the worst part wasn't the betrayal. It was the way she looked at me, smiling like she had finally won a competition I didn't even know we were playing. That was the moment I realized something terrifying. My sister hadn't just stolen my husband, she had been planning it for a long time. What neither of them knew was that the same betrayal that destroyed my marriage would soon become their greatest regret. My name is Nkem, and for most of my life, my younger sister Chioma was the person I loved more than anyone in the world. After our parents passed away, I practically became her second mother. I paid for her school fees, I protected her, I made sure she never felt alone. People used to say we were inseparable. Where you saw Nkem, you would always see Chioma. So when I married Emeka, it felt natural for her to always be around. She visited often. Sometimes she stayed for days. She was family, or at least I thought she was. At first, everything seemed normal, but slowly, little things started to change. Whenever Chioma visited, Emeka suddenly became more cheerful. They laughed at jokes I didn't understand. Sometimes I would walk into a room and their conversation would suddenly stop. Their eyes would quickly move away from each other. The first time I noticed it, a strange feeling settled in my stomach. But I refused to believe my own husband and my own sister could betray me like that. One afternoon, I decided to leave work early. I wanted to surprise Emeka with his favorite meal. I remember smiling as I walked toward the house. But the moment I stepped inside, something felt wrong. The house was too quiet. Then I heard laughter coming from my bedroom. My heart started beating faster as I slowly walked toward the door. And when I pushed it open, my entire world collapsed. There they were, my husband and my sister, together on my bed. For a moment, nobody said anything. The room felt like it had lost all the air inside it. Tears began streaming down my face as I struggled to speak. "Chioma, why?" I whispered. But the answer I received was colder than anything I could have imagined. My sister slowly stood up and looked directly into my eyes. Then she said the words that would haunt me for years. "He never loved you the way he loves me." I turned to Emeka, hoping he would deny it, hoping he would say it was a mistake. But he didn't. Instead, he looked away. And that silence hurt more than any insult ever could. That night, I packed my bags. Not because I was weak, but because I refused to stay in a house where love had been replaced by betrayal. As I walked out the door, my sister didn't even try to stop me. She simply watched, like someone who had finally taken something she believed belonged to her. For months after that day, I felt completely lost. The pain was unbearable. I had lost a husband, but even worse, I had lost a sister I once loved with all my heart.
But life has a strange way of surprising you. Slowly, piece by piece, I began rebuilding my life. I started a small business. I worked harder than I ever had before. Years passed, and eventually, my life became better than I ever imagined. I found peace, I found independence, and most importantly, I found myself again. One afternoon, as I was leaving my office building, I saw two familiar figures standing near the gate, Emeka and Chioma. But they looked nothing like the confident couple who once betrayed me. Their clothes were worn, their faces were tired, and the arrogance they once carried was completely gone. They walked toward me slowly. Chioma's voice trembled as she spoke. "We made a mistake. We thought we were happy, but everything fell apart. For a moment, I looked at the two people who had once broken my heart. Then I smiled gently, not out of anger, but out of understanding. Because the truth was, I had already moved on long ago. Some betrayals, I said quietly, don't just break hearts, they end relationships forever." And with that, I turned around and walked away. Not as the woman they once betrayed, but as the woman who survived it and became stronger because of it.